like the way that the Patriots might use Cam, I'm saying he may not start, but they could use him like how the Saints use Taysom Hill. A guy that comes in and plays, throws some, runs some, is a key part of the offense. Not just a backup, but an actual part of the offense. It seems the Patriots might use Cam that way. Why not? You're not paying him that much. You like Stidham too. Use them both. It seems a team could use Kaepernick that way. I mean, maybe he's a little rusty as a passer. He's been out of the league for 3.5 years. But you could use him as a wildcat quarterback, someone who, I mean, I think his career rushing average is still about 6 yards a carry. He's still, I would imagine, a good runner. He's not that old. You could bring him in and start him off in that role and see if he can do better. Be a lot better than having a backup like C.J. Beathard or Blake Bortles or someone who gives you absolutely nothing. Definitely. And I think that's the future in the NFL. A committee of quarterbacks that all give you something and are all cheap. Not one quarterback who's supposed to do everything and make everyone better and makes $35 million a year. Because even if you have a guy like that, and he is technically good, like, say, Russell Wilson, great player, future Hall of Famer, worth every penny he makes, they're not going to win the Super Bowl with him making money like that. I mean, most likely they won't. Yeah, because it's a salary cap league, and he's one of 53. So I think the future is, and we've seen it, like, the Eagles won a Super Bowl because they loaded up their roster and paid very little for a couple of talented quarterbacks. Now, they have to pay a lot for Wentz now, but I think in the future, like New Orleans, for example, when Breeze retires, which could be next year, I don't think they're going to sign some really expensive quarterback out of nowhere. I think they'll go with Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill, pay them both about the same, and play them both. And now you have a diverse offense, an offense that defenses have to prepare for your wildcat stuff and your regular drop back stuff. They have to split up their time, and they're totally different schemes you need to defend those. I mean, you saw the Niners when they played the Ravens. They had to build an entirely different defensive scheme because the wide nine had no chance against a wildcat type offense. So I think that's the future of the league, and Colin Kaepernick fits that. Who's a better wildcat quarterback available on the street right now? I mean, there's guys that come out from college every year, but Kaepernick's just out there waiting, and he's like the original, and he's 2 months older than me, and I'm just 32, and I can still run. So maybe they should call me up, man. I'm ready to do it.
All right, Grant Cohn. If anyone's listening, man, right here.
Sign me up, coach.
Sign him, yeah. I think that's a really interesting take on the future of NFL offenses. It would be really difficult to stop. I mean, we see what happened with the Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Like, they were unstoppable. They won 10 games in a row. So I think that was very interesting. I think Colin Kaepernick should definitely be signed.
Here's the way I look at the Wildcat. I mean, it works.
It works.
They showed that 12 years ago, 2008. It works. But when they first came up with the concept, teams put running backs back there because that was the best option. And the defenses eventually figured out, well, yes, it's 11-on-11 football and they have an extra blocker, but they're not going to be a pass. So we can stop that. But the way football has evolved in the last 12 years is there's so many running quarterbacks in college football that you can do the Wildcat now without a running back. You can do the Wildcat with legit quarterbacks who can pass. Like, not guys who could be full-time starting quarterbacks in the NFL, but guys who can complete some throws. Guys who can complete some throws like Taysom Hill. You know, like I don't know if he'll ever be a full-time quarterback in the league, but he can be a part-time quarterback, and he's a much better passer than Ronnie Brown was for the Dolphins. So now the Wildcat package is actually has so much more potential than it did 12 years ago. And the Ravens have gone all in with it. All in. Now, not all teams can get a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, but a lot of teams can get a quarterback like Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? Or Tyrod Taylor, and have an element of this in their offense. And I think if the Ravens win the Super Bowl next year or continue to have success, you're going to see more and more teams go this direction because the supply is out there. The NCAA is providing this type of quarterback athlete, and it's a cheap way to have success on offense. So, I mean, if you can go cheap at quarterback, have a committee there, load up your D-line, load up your secondary, you're probably going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, obviously, because a lot of the good teams, they have quarterbacks in rookie deals. Obviously, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl last season. Mahomes on his rookie deal. So if you can just keep getting quarterbacks on their rookie deal, having loaded rosters and running innovative Wildcat offense that's impossible to stop, there's no one that you're going to win. You're going to win the game.
Right. You're not going to get the next Mahomes, but you could get a quarterback as an undrafted free agent like Nick Mullins, pay him nothing, and he's league average or better. and get an athlete at quarterback who can run around like Colin Kaepernick. You could pair Colin Kaepernick and Nick Mullins and have a better production from the quarterback position than teams that spend 20, 25 million at that spot. And what an advantage that would be.